Ahoy there and welcome to the channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different from what I usually do. Today I'm going to be reacting to the brand new Lil Nas X album, Montero. Obviously Lil Nas is someone who kind of everyone knows at this stage from going viral, was it last year for Old Town Road. But when I heard Old Town Road, obviously it was one of them cases where I just thought it was a viral track, but I thought it was very catchy, very kind of cool. But within the past year, every track that he has either released or teased, I thought was really, really good because he obviously released the song itself, Montero, Call Me By Your Name, which I think is an absolute banger. It's such a tune. Then he released Industry Baby, which I thought was another really, really good track. And then he's on TikTok quite a lot and teases quite a lot of songs there as well. So I thought I'd give it a go. I'm always up for trying something new and different. Usually on this channel I react to bands that I like. So I'm going to try and do something just a little bit different. So I actually have been looking forward to this album quite a bit. So let's get into it. So the first track on the album is Montero, Call Me By Your Name. So obviously I've heard this song a million times, but I've never actually done like a reaction to it. So usually in a case like this, I usually don't react to it because I've done it before. But with this, I'm just going to listen to it again because it's a tune. Because I want to listen to the album as a whole. I don't want to skip any tracks. So I've only heard 2 tracks fully. 1 track I've heard quite a bit of. But yeah, let's get into it.
I called it bad just today. You hit me with a call to your place. Ain't been out in a while anyway. Was hoping I could catch you throwing smiles in my face. Romantic talking, you don't even have to try. Call me when you want, call me when you need. Call me in the morning, I'll be on the way. Call me when you want, call me when you need. Call me out by your name, I'll be on the way. Like, hey, I wanna sell what you're buying. I wanna feel on your ass in Hawaii. I wanna fuck the ones I envy. I envy. Oh, call me by your name. Tell me you love me in private.
So once again, still an absolute great track. I was kind of hoping he'd put that like, was it like Satan's Extended mix on the album, because I do much prefer that. That was like my only gripe with the song when I first heard it. I was like, it's too short. I was like, it needs to be like 3 minutes. It's like 2 minutes long. But when I heard the extended mix, it basically did exactly what I wanted, because I was like, oh, I'd love if that like second chorus came in one last time but had like a bridge, and that's literally what he did. So this next track is called Dead Right Now. So let's give this a listen. Nice bit of trumpet.
Somebody come get this bitch. Thinking you're a star on the ride, you got time to reply, don't lie, you can hit my shit. You know I never did you wrong, even though I'm right here by the phone, dog. You know you never used to call, keep it that way now. I'll treat you like you're dead right now. 2018, I was in my sister's house the whole summer. Songs wasn't doing numbers, whole life was going under. Left school, then my dad and I had a face-to-face in Atlanta. Come up to you singing hallelujah, how'd you do it? You've been on my mind, you've been running through, yeah. Treat you like you're dead right now. I'm on your head right now. You wanna fuck with me so bad right now. I'm on your head right now. You wanna fuck with me so bad right now.
So that track, just from listening to the first time, I love the kind of flow of the track in terms of like the instrumental and the dynamics and like the kind of filtered instruments at times. Like not everything was always just really in your face. It was really, really nice. So there's a kind of subtle trumpet going through the whole thing was really, really nice, because eventually it was kind of teasing almost the vocal melody from the chorus at the start, which was really, really nice. Built really well. When the sub bass came in, it gave it just a nice warm layer. Very, very catchy. You could like, once again, like from the second chorus, I was able to almost sing it instantly. I think Lil Nas is really, really good at that. Just from all of his songs that I've heard so far, it's just like off the first listen, you can sing along to them straight away, and they're really easy to remember, which is obviously what you really, really want, especially if you're doing like pop music and that kind of stuff. He does that really, really well. But no, I really, really like that song. A lot tamer from the songs that I know him for, because once again, I don't know too much of his stuff. This is why I wanted to do a reaction like this, because I want to get to know artists more. So the next track is Industry Baby featuring Jack Harlow. So this was like the last kind of full song he released. So this is once again a song I have heard, but I will listen to it again because it's an absolute banger. So this is Industry Baby.
Baby bet, ayy, couple racks, ayy, couple Grammys on him, couple plaques, ayy. I told you long ago on the road, I got what they waiting for. All run from need a couple number ones, need a pack on every song, need me like one with Nicki now. Tell a rap nigga I don't see you, huh? My track record so clean, they couldn't wait to just bash me. I must be getting too flashy, y'all shouldn't have let the world gas me. You don't run from nothing, dog, get your soul. Just tell them that the break is over. Industry, baby,
Yeah, so that was Industry Baby. Obviously, once again, another song that's been out for a while. But I do love that song because it kind of takes that like marching band influence and just really rolls with it. But no, otherwise, once again, another very catchy song, very easy to sing along to. So the next song is a song I've been really excited for. So this was a song that he basically used as the teaser for announcing the album. And as soon as I heard this is one that clicked with me instantly. I was like, I know I'm going to like this. So I'm really, really excited to hear this fully. So that's what I want. So let's get into it.
Need a boy you can cuddle with me all night. Give me one, let me long, be my sunlight. These days are way too lonely. I'm missing out, I know. These days are way too alone, and I'm not forgiving, love away, but I want someone to love me. I need someone who needs me. 'Cause it don't feel right when it's late at night and it's just me and my dreams. That's what I fucking want. Look, you know it's hard to define in these times. I want someone to love me. I need someone who needs me. 'Cause it don't feel right when it's late at night and it's just me and my. That's what I fucking want.
Yeah, that song's an absolute banger from the get-go. Very like indie synth pop influenced. Obviously you have like the acoustic guitars, the very upbeat drums, and then when the chorus comes in, you have the synths and the kind of arpeggiators going as well. Very, very catchy. When it came to the end there, when it kind of started to like slow down and it was just kind of him singing with the bass, I was kind of hoping it wouldn't just like fade out there. I was kind of hoping that another chorus would come in, but it's kind of nice that it was like kind of like almost like half a breakdown just back into the last half of the chorus. So I really, really like that. So the next song is called The Art of Realization. So here we go. Oh, it seems like an interlude kind of track.
He's driving a lot. He's driving. Sure. I've been working on my body. You ever seen a nigga hit Pilates? No, I ain't feeling sorry. Daily. Scoop.
Woo!
Scoop. 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 Now it's he get flown and he sit back. And I won't call on the phone if I hit that. Ain't no tryna fuck, little nigga, fuck the chit chat. Ain't talking guns when I ask where your dick at.
Tomorrow is my day off. All them rehearsals got me tight, look at the payoff. And now my body look like something you did take off. I just got my veneers out, bitches wanna rip they face off. But you thought you'd have a chance after you wanna disrespect me. Let him apologize and eat it in a Bentley. He named my right cheek Jennifer and left for Lopez. Can't call me stupid with this big old fucking forehead, motherfucker, let me
Scoop. Working overtime to make sure I'll be the scoop. They gon' know me.
Okay, so that song was Scoop featuring Doja Cat. The first bit of it was obviously The Art of Realization. I thought it was going to be a full track. Ended up just being kind of like a little interlude in between songs. The song has a really infectious synth line. It's kind of like a constantly rising synth line. Very arpeggiated, and it kind of leads the entire track for most of the song. Then you kind of have your like trap beat behind it. And then you have the Doja verse as well. So this next song I find is going to be very interesting because it's called One of Me and it's featuring Elton John. Here's the piano.
I like this, I don't like that. Do this here, don't you do that. Say you wanted me, say you wanted me, yeah, yeah. Say you need the validation. Tell me that you think you on top your last creation. Word on the block is you fell off and I'm just saying, if it ain't no town road, Lil Nas X, you ain't playing, nigga, just stick to what you best. I suggest make another one like this. Yeah, if your album okay is flopping, that's a promise. So
So right off the bat, what I'll just say about that song is I was thinking that maybe Elton John was going to sing on it, but it seemed that it just seemed to be more of his piano accompaniment. I think this track, you could just, from the lyrics alone, you can tell it's maybe a song about maybe the people who kind of like hated on him and said that he'd never be anything of prevalence in the industry. Because I could hear him talking about, like, you know, people talking to him about Old Town Road, and that, well, like, when his album comes out, it's going to flop regardless of how good it is. So I'm guessing this is probably a song that's very personal to him, because it sounds like it's could be one to do with maybe people who said that he'd never make it in the industry, that he'd never become an artist that would be recognised everywhere. Or it could even potentially be a case of maybe like record labels saying it to him. It's like, oh, you did Old Town Road. We just want like 10 more of them. We don't want you to experiment. We don't want you to do this. That's what you're good for, and that's all you're good for, kind of stuff. That was the first one that really stuck out to me, more so lyrically than musically, even though, don't get me wrong, the music was great. The kind of wee piano flourishes at the end were really, really nice. Even just like the whole kind of soundscape was very warm. It was soothing, but yeah, at the same time, it was still upbeat enough that if you heard it on in the background, you'd recognize it, kind of thing. So I really, really enjoyed that one. Yeah, so this song is called Lost in the Citadel, so let's see what it's like. Very sine wavy synth.
tell me, are you feeling down? Are you happy? Do your dreams still seem inbound? Anytime to get up and get off the floor. Anytime to realize that I can't be yours. Anytime to give up just like before. I love it how you know I'll only come right back for more. I remember when I met you, thought the universe sent you. Thought you was someone I could fit to, so I hit you like what you're getting into. Anytime to get up and get off the floor. Anytime to get up and get off the floor. Anytime to realize that I can't be yours. 'Cause every time you leave, you find a way to come back around.
So that was another song purely from a lyrical standpoint that sounded very personal to him. And what exactly he was getting at from a first listen, I can't really exactly pinpoint, but it sounds like maybe something to do with a relationship, because he said something about it's like the universe has sent you, so maybe it's something very personal to him. It could be maybe to do with, as I said, a relationship, maybe like a friend or a family member, I don't know. Musically, it reminded me quite a lot of That's What I Want, but more kind of a tamer version, a less upbeat version, a more kind of somber kind of version, because it kind of has that indie synth pop feel, but there was a lot more real instruments in it. You could hear the really like pan muted guitars, you could hear the real drums. It kind of has almost like a bit of a pop punky vibe to it almost, because I've been kind of noticing that a little bit with like modern day music, modern day mainstream music. They can almost hear like pop punk influences, but a great track nonetheless. It seems like the last few songs were a lot more kind of personal and something that, you know, really has affected him and he really wanted to get out there. So it's, once again, it's a nice seeing other sides of artists. So the next track is $sign Slime, more of the kind of arpeggiated synths.
Y'all take a room and then y'all gon' wear it out. Fuck it, that talk about who's in the whereabouts.
Nice bounce between the ears of the synths. Nice harmonies.
Cleared out. I'm the same $sign slime, they gon' hear me. I'm the same $sign slime. Got a new whip in this navy blue. Top of the game only 22. Look at me, nigga, they ain't look at you. You just the up and the flop of a nigga. I'm sorry that I gotta say the truth.
Real hot girl shit. They can't stop me. Say I can't do it, bitch, watch me. All you lame hoes turn hate into a hobby. Damn, watching me gotta turn you on. I should have my own category in porn. Ooh, I'm just such an obsession. See about me, your IG suggestion. And blocking. Got more cream than a Sunday topping.
So once again, another really infectious kind of... At first I thought it was like synths, but it ended up being like more trumpets. Obviously it could just be sampled trumpets, so maybe that's how I got confused. Once again, very arpeggiated. I noticed that's something that he's doing a lot on a lot of songs, kind of the arpeggiated rhythms. Really nice kind of harmonies and bouncing between them, because you could hear that there was two different in each ear, kind of going, and then they were like stacking different harmonies on top of each other. So that was really, really nice. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this before the song started, but Megan Thee Stallion was actually featuring on this song, and I kind of forgot about it until her verse came in. Quite like the verse. She's not really someone who I know much of, but I really liked her flows on it. I thought some of the stuff she was saying was quite good. So the next song is called Tales of Dominica. So yeah, let's listen to this one and see what it's like.
Woke up on the floor. Oh, this plastic bed don't blow up no more. Sometimes you're angry, sometimes you're hurting, sometimes you're all alone. Sometimes I'm anxious, sometimes it makes me feel like there's only no. I've been living in my lowest, it's safe to say. Hold my little bit of hope, don't fade away. Was everybody right about me? Scary things in my head, I can't dream and I just woke up on the floor.
It sounds like lyrically he's maybe talking about his childhood, like how he grew up. So I'm guessing the fact that it's called Tales of Dominica, that's where he obviously grew up, and maybe he's talking about like his childhood. Maybe he had a rough childhood, a rough upbringing. Maybe because he's talking about how like he has like a blow up bed, and that like it doesn't blow up anymore. So he's basically just like lying there on the floor. And he was even talking about how he doesn't want to go home and see her face no more. So maybe he was having like troubles with like whoever raised him, be it like a mother or an auntie. So the next song is going to be Sun Goes Down. So let's give that a whack.
I wanna run away, I don't wanna lie, I don't wanna lie. Send me a gun, and I'll see the sun. I'd rather run away. Who need an instant ease from your life where you got plenty of every hurt and heartbreak? You just take it all to the face. I know that you want to cry, but it's much more to life than dying over your past mistakes and people who do dirt on your name. Since 10, I've been feeling lonely. Oh, I wanna run away, don't wanna lie, I don't wanna lie. Send me a gun, and I'll see the sun.
That song was actually quite beautiful. The guitar work on it was absolutely great. Once again, as I said, the kind of indie pop kind of influences from a few of the past tracks you could definitely hear prevalent, very prevalent there. Lyrically, the song sounds very much him kind of reflecting, once again, probably on his youth, but maybe a little bit older, like as I was talking about in the previous song, Tales of Dominica. It could have been like him growing up when he was very young, but this seemed more like, because he talked about when he was 10, so maybe it could be like 10 in his early teen years. He's talking about like, you know, mistakes that he's made and how sometimes you can carry them over to your later years, and they can really like be prevalent if you're somebody who suffers with like anxiety and depression. They can really hold you down, as a lot of us have, like, you know, suffered with stuff like that before. So it's a lot of that. Maybe because obviously he could be talking about other stuff as well that has happened, because he talked about taking the leap of faith. So I wonder, was that him taking the leap of faith into going into music? Maybe he's talking about the leap of faith, about him coming out. So there's only a few tracks left. So this next track is called Void. So let's give it a listen. Once again with the guitars.
Hello, friend from the road. I wanted to write a note let you know that all in all, it ain't all what it seems. Oh, it's so much to do in so little of time. I feel like I feel a little behind. Hold up, hold up, hold up. I find it hard to get way too hard to let. Oh, blue, I wrote for you to say I'm gonna run away from home. Oh, blue, I love you too. Oh, I reach out my hand, hoping that they'll see I'm more than what everyone tells me. Hold on, looking for love around the night. Find it hard to get way too hard to let. Today I'm gonna run away. Today I'm gonna run away.
So once again, yet another very personal track from him. Talking about maybe songs called Voids, so maybe he's talking about the voids in his life. Like for maybe different things that have happened to him over the years. He's probably talking about like his insecurities as well. His vocals on that track were absolutely beautiful as well. I never realised how much of a range he had with his vocals, and you could definitely tell from that track. I loved even the music in it. Just constantly building and then breaking it down, and then building again and breaking it down. It was just a constant, really nice flow. Because like, you know, yeah, he kind of had like the drums just building a little bit at the start and then stopping. And then once again, the drums would come in and build a little bit more and a little bit more, and then it'd stop. And then eventually the drums would build and then it'd kind of come in with the beat. But at the same time, I was kind of almost expecting something like, what's that Billie Eilish track? Is it Happier Than Ever? Where it really like kicks in heavy at the end and it has big boomy drums, big massive guitars. I was almost expecting it to do that to an extent, but it's kind of nice that it didn't. It's a really nice track, but at the same time it still builds to a sort of crescendo, and then it has this really nice outro. Once again, there was more strings at the end. It'd be nice to maybe hear a few more of them strings throughout the songs rather than just at the end, because I always think strings add such a nice layer to tracks. So this next track is called Don't Want It.
I smoke myself to sleep. I'm sad, I think I'm feeling lonely. Took one too many shots last night and I spent all my money. Started thinking, am I stupid to be funny over things that's been haunting me all my life?
Award goes to Lil Nas X.
If I pop up, I'm a wanted, but I get by. Tell the devil I can have a missile.
So musically, a bit of a tonal shift there, much more back to kind of what we heard earlier in the album. So another quite personal track lyrically. Obviously, he's talking about like, you know, he was like drinking and smoking too much to get him to sleep, and then obviously had like the middle section where it was like a different kind of like award show with reports about him, like, you know, winning awards and getting #1 and that kind of stuff. So the next track is going to be called Life After Salem. A bit more of an electric guitar feel.
All of my feelings are gone. I left them all on the floor. Man, who's to blame if you don't love me no more? Why don't you just take what you want from me? show no love at all. You know I can be your part-time lover. Our stars, they'll dance with each other. I can be your part-time lover. What you want from me? Yeah. What you want from me? Yeah. You're changing every day. You play it, at you everything.
Once I heard the kind of like electric, kind of really gritty guitar come in, I thought it was just going to be like a full, like, kind of slow track with maybe some like marching-esque drums. But no, I was really surprised by that musically, because I was kind of thinking to myself from the last few songs that I've heard, because obviously he's adding a lot more like guitars and real drums. I was like, oh, it'd be nice to kind of hear maybe like something heavy, but I wasn't expecting it from this. I just thought he might have kept it on a very kind of taken back level where it'd be like kind of creepy and weird, but I wasn't expecting like the big heavy drums to come in, the ringing guitars, even the solo. So that was really, really nice to kind of hear. I always, like, I know a lot of people don't like it and I kind of hate this, but I love to see artists incorporate rock into a song. Because I know there's that whole thing, it's like, oh yeah, they're not real rock artists, why are they doing this? It's like, because like, why can't anybody just enjoy any kind of music and then try it? Why not try it and give it a go? And that's what he's doing. He obviously has some form of influence from, like, you know, rock music. I'm not sure who, like what bands, but you can obviously tell that he like probably loves rock music. So I'll have to give that one a few more listens, because I wasn't really taking much in of what he was saying. I was paying more attention to the music. So it'd be nice to go back on that track and then kind of pick it apart for what he's saying. So this is actually going to be the last track on the album. It's actually featuring Miley Cyrus, and it's called Am I Dreaming?
Every song, every dream filled with help from beyond. As I'm sinking, I relive the story. Every try.
There's the strings that I wanted to hear again.
And everything I've done. Oh, these thoughts I thought was sinking down. Oh, never forget me. And everything I've done.
Tears running dry, shattered inside, but I still got a smile.
Once again, another very interesting track. Just while I'm on the subject, that last bit where like the thunderstorm and the rain, I wonder, is it kind of like conceptually to do with the track Am I Dreaming? Was that him waking up from his dream in the middle of a thunderstorm? More of a ballady kind of track from that one. I was expecting maybe, because once again with Miley Cyrus being on it, that and the last track it might have ran into this big dramatic like kind of rock hit. But no, it was more somber. Once again, vocally it was great between both of them. I know once again Miley Cyrus might get a lot of hate for doing this and doing that, but you can't deny her vocals. They're absolutely fantastic. She's such good range, such a powerful voice. So it really, really suited that kind of track. So yeah, a nice closer to the album. I would have like to maybe have heard the last few tracks maybe swapped around, because personally I always love an album that ends on a big, massive, just epic kind of finale. But once again, I am quite a sucker for a soft closer as well. So that was my reaction to the Lil Nas X album Montero. I was not expecting kind of the last half of that album to be what it was, in a very, very good way, because I was expecting a lot more tracks like, once again, Montero, Call Me By Your Name, That's What I Want. But I wasn't expecting it to get so kind of deep towards the middle. There was them like run of tracks that really, really almost nearly hit home for me to some extent with some of the stuff he was saying. Not all the stuff he was saying, obviously. But obviously he got really personal with stuff, talking about his childhood and whatnot. And then even musically, it was quite different. A lot of real guitars, real drums, some real beautiful like synths. His vocals were fantastic on some of the latter tracks as well. It's nearly an album of two halves. You can nearly say like some of the first songs on the album, like Montero, Dead Right Now, Industry Baby, That's What I Want, Scoop, $, Slime, and even Don't Want It, kind of all fall under like a very similar category of their own. But then all of a sudden, there's these other tracks like Lost in the Citadel, Tales of Dominica, Sun Goes Down, Void, After Salem, Am I Dreaming? Like, it nearly is. You can nearly have it as like a double album, but it'll have both sides of the album be kind of opposites of each other to some extent. But yeah, no, I was really, really surprised with that album in a very, very good way. It's definitely an album. Like, I always, once again, I never like listen to an album once and never listen to it again. I always have to listen to it quite a few times to really get the feel for it, to really understand it, as much as I personally can anyway. That one in particular, I'm going to need to have quite a few listens to. Because once again, as you could tell from the start of the album, it was kind of more so what I was expecting. And I was maybe expecting, like, you know, maybe a few kind of slower tracks and maybe quite a few personal tracks, but I wasn't expecting the kind of lengths to which he went to. So overall, I'm really happy with that album. As I said again, it's like an album of two halves. You could have nearly had the first half of the album be the kind of more upbeat, poppy, catchier singles, and then you could have the last half, the more kind of him really reflecting on his life and musically changing it as well, which I was quite surprised about. But some really, really fantastic tracks there. So that's been my reaction to the Lil Nas X album. So what did you think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you expecting it to be what it was? Were you expecting more songs like Montero and Industry Baby? Are you kind of happy that like toward the latter half of that album he really changed it up and it's kind of creating his own sound that isn't just like, you know, what you'd hear on the radio? So yeah, once again, thanks very much. If you want to do all that typical YouTube stuff like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Is there any other songs from Lil Nas X you think I should check out? Because once again, I've only heard this album and like Old Town Road. I know he's had quite he's had like maybe a few other singles out and a few EPs, or just any tracks in general that you think I should check out. Because once again, I'm trying to expand what I personally listen to. There's so much stuff out there, and obviously you're not going to like all of it, but you're not going to hate all of it either. So there's obviously going to be some stuff out there that I should hear. So once again, if you came here and it's your first time, thanks very much. I really enjoyed that and hope you did too. So see you soon. I'm tired, thirsty, I'm hungry. Need to go to the kitchen.